Hello people! I've got to get through this update video really quickly. Welcome back to the Endurance. I'm Griffin Endurance. How are you doing today? No, I'm not going to speak quickly. Okay, I wanted to do a little update video just to show what's going on with the ship, and also to answer the questions from and comments and stuff from the last video I just uploaded yesterday. I'm going to try and get this video up as quickly as possible because I've got a lot going on and I need to get on. Okay, basically the ship has undergone a lot of work, a hell of a lot of work. Where to start? Obviously, I've currently docked with well, we'll get on to that. Let's start with the basic rundown. Let's start with the front. I don't know where I am. I've literally just grabbed my microphone and gone, right, let's do an update quickly. Okay, so basically you can probably tell this is all from the runabout video I did a while ago. I've actually swiped those textures and now repurposed them. Why not? You can see, look how nice that is. It looks all curved with its labels and stuff. I basically replaced probably about 50% of the brushwork on the map now that I've gone into phase 3, which is the final phase. Yay, that means the map's nearing completion in some respects. You can see all these little consoles are all different, all well labelled, all sort of partitioned out, little grips and things to hang on to. It's all looking very nice and special. So let's start with the front. Obviously you have your helm controls. I'm going to ignore them because I'm going to do a separate update once I've fixed it, because it's not completely working yet. It's obviously I'm docked with the Cardassian station here. Now would be a perfect opportunity actually, as this was the focus of the last thing, to go through the comments that I received, which were all very splendid. So I'm going to go through, at the point of doing this, there's only 5 comments. Yay, I like comments. I like responding to comments. Hi people, hi! Moogie! Don't ask me why I did that. Okay, oh, why am I lowering that? I don't want to lower that. Okay, so first comment, let's go with time posted ago. 22 hours, Matthew Stickney says, how close is this map to completion, because I really want it. My answer, don't ask. Next question, General Redrick. Yay! Hi General! Looks kick-ass. Griffin reminds me how much I need to get round to actually watching Deep Space Nine. Yeah, it's worth a watch. Definitely worth a watch. It's probably the least Star Trek's TV series there is, for a lot of reasons, mainly because, well, it kind of diverts away from Gene Roddenberry's vision of humanity's all perfect in the future by introducing stuff like Section 31, Cisco quietly sitting by while a Romulan official's killed in order to get the Romulans to join the war. The fight that they have on that planet where everyone's dying and humanity's all gone all crazy. It's basically like, well, humanity's evolved beyond these instincts, beyond this point, but it hasn't. Because as soon as you take away their replicators and stuff, they're back to the way they were. And that's kind of anti-Gene Roddenberry vision. But, at the same time, DS9 has my favourite episode in it. My favourite episode of Star Trek ever is in DS9, which is the one I mentioned, where they have this big fight on a planet, and it shows the extent of what is an expertly done episode, and it's really good episode. It also has some of my favourite characters. Odo is a legend. This is a security officer, chief of security, who never carries a gun. You gotta praise the man's principles for that. But despite that, it's my least favourite series, because it does have some crap in it. So, yeah, it's also got some of the best characters in it. I'm kind of divided. It's the least Star Trek-y series. People said Enterprise was, but it's like, no, Enterprise was basically a reboot of the original series, essentially. It had the same sort of mechanics and setup. But DS9 was the least Star Trek-y, but it also had my favourite episode in it. Conflicted somewhat. So yeah, definitely worth a look. And thanks for commenting. As always, General, I've decided this is your plant. I am going to put a plaque on it for you that says dedicated to General Redrick for all of his good work or something, I don't know. But I'm going to have to fit it into the canon of this ship. So I've come up with an excellent idea. Okay, General Redrick. General's a Klingon rank. So we obviously had General Martok. So there was a Klingon called General Redrick who decided to retire from the Klingon Defense Force and run cargo ships on the previous Endurance. And this plant is from his quarters. Now the reason it's been moved onto the bridge, and it's the only plant anywhere on the bridge, is because he was killed in a terrible accident, you see, on a trip to Andoria. A Andorian tapeworm swam up his urethra and ate him from the inside out. Yeah. It's probably not that much of an honour now, is it, to have a plant with a plaque for you on the bridge, when your character died by having a worm swimming up his worm and eating him from the inside out. I wonder if he'd go to Stovercore for that. Who knows, but anyway, General, Kapla! Right, next question, 17 hours. Corey Barnes, Tuscan, great, but one thing, the space around DS9 is purple, not brown. There was an error on STO part that they fixed a while ago. I didn't know that they fixed it, but I did know that the area around the space is actually black for the most part. You occasionally get this bluey, purpley nebula thing in the background, and sometimes on some of the long shots you do get like a purpley sort of hazy background, but it's actually very dark, and it's not nowhere near as bright as this is, or STO. They still haven't corrected for it completely because the DS9 is so highly contrasted in that it's got like dim lighting and then it's jet black on the sides where the light isn't hitting it, so it's to bring out the details on the actual model, because they made a really nice model for it, because that was back in the time where CGI wasn't as popular. So yes, you're completely right. My attention to detail, it's not a mistake, it's a visual choice. This is not Deep Space Nine, it is a Nor type station. If it was Deep Space Nine, I would stick a wormhole in. Runabouts flying around, it is just a generic Nor type station. It can be DS9 if that's what you want it to be, but I just thought that it looked best with this brown sort of hazy background. So you're completely correct, but also, yeah, it's not relevant. Thank you. Next one. God, that looks cool. Love it, man. Thank you. Can't really say anything else to that. Fantastic. FN Scooter this time. Fantastic, but I feel the physical connection needs to come a few seconds later. As it stands, I get the impression that the docking port on the ship is further forward than it would actually be. Yes, completely valid point. I actually uploaded that video. I haven't done any more work on it since then, but literally I completed the movement and getting it all working and then uploaded that video. So it's not finished, of course. I still got to put in like the impulse dust going by, so it looks like you're moving, and all sorts of other bits and pieces. Probably going to have like maybe a Keldon or a Galore docked with it that will fly off and do something fancy, so it actually looks more than just a static thing floating in space. But also there's a slight problem, which is from the tactical console over here, you can see one of the pylons over there. The problem is that obviously the ship's size, based on this, the ship is small. You know, technically, if you're docked and the pylon is over there by the airlock, you would be able to see that pylon probably over there somewhere, right in the distance, because the station's so big. But because of the scale differences, this is obviously small scale, the only way to have that pylon still on the screen as it would be to stop it where it is now. And if you were sat at tactical watching, you would basically see that stop, and then 2 seconds later you'd hear the dock sound, so it wouldn't kind of work. But what I'm actually thinking of doing now that you mention it, because it has been bugging me, I did think that the second I saw the video, because I watched the video a few times, because it was really bugging me actually. And what I think I've decided to do is this Deep Space Nine model is, well, Nor class station. Let's just call it Deep Space Nine because that's what everyone knows it as. This model is actually split into 5 pieces, because the model, even though it's a low poly model, it's so complex that EF can't support it in its entirety. I have to split it into 5 models. So to save myself 5 entities, what I might just do is when you dock with it, because obviously when we disembark...
Initiating departure sequence.
It'll do its sound, and we will fly away, and the pylon will move away like we're flying directly forward. But then you don't see anything. So what I might do is just move it back a little bit further, as you suggest, and then just remove it, and then I can save myself 5 entities for that moving back bit there, and just have it so that you have a blank spacey thing with some impulse stars, and that's it. So that's all done and dusted. So I think I'm going to do it that way. It saves me entities, so good mention. I'm glad it bothers somebody else. So there we go. That's that done. Yeah, the warp drive system isn't even fully integrated yet. Come on, hurry up and say that departure sequence complete. I'm getting bored. Come on, I know it takes a minute because you've got to reset all the variables, but hurry up. Oh. Ah, nice coffee. Come on! Come on!
Departure sequence complete.
Yeah, I can imagine that getting a bit fucking boring. Right, okay. So the warp system should now be re-enabled. The docking system should still be locked out. Yep, so that's working. Navigational system should still be locked out, but it doesn't make an error sound. That's correct. I got to put in the error sound. That button does nothing. That does bleepy sound. That does alert. Yeah. I should be able to go to warp, but I haven't made it so that this star field will disappear, so I'll have to go to warp, and then if I drop out of warp, this star field will disappear and the station will appear again. How the hell am I going to do that one? I'd have to go through 2 sets. No, I can abort it. Can I abort it? I think... Yeah? No, I can't abort it. I'd have to dock again. Okay, just deal with the fact that this star field isn't going to change. Because that's the point I would change it back to blank black stars, but I haven't put that stuff in yet. So obviously, the helm consoles, once that's done and you're at warp, you can go to navigation.
Please specify destination.
Utopia Planitia will actually just be a blank star field, and you'll have your 3 locations. It'll be a full view screen thing with a visual representation of where you're going to make it make more sense. They won't be labelled as actual station names. The Deep Space Nine one is 3. 1 and 2 don't do anything at the moment, so if we select 3...
Destination confirmed. Course adjusted.
I don't like that course adjusted, so I'll cut that off the clip. And then when you drop out of warp, it will scan what location is active, and then it'll load up all the models, load up all the sounds, load up all the things, lock out the navigational system. You'll have 2 choices. There we go, station with black star field. That's no good to me. Right, I could dock again. So you could obviously dock, as you've seen in the video, or you can just go straight back to warp. I wonder if that's going to bring me back to Starfield. Please don't, please don't, please don't. In fact, it hasn't even removed the station. That's fucked. Okay, yeah, the function... It's not finished! You see, I said it's not finished! Stop picking! Right, let's... If I drop out of warp now, it will just toggle back, won't it? Yes. Okay, let's just walk away from this helm console. Let's just turn off the screen and forget about that functionality for the time being, shall we? Because it isn't even in yet. One that is in, though, is the tactical station. The tactical station has had its 3rd pass on the textures. These are the final textures that are going to come with it. You can see it's all incredibly shiny and nice. You can see that we've got these nice edges that go all the way around. All of these are actual sort of complete bulkhead textures with labels. All of these little things have little labels and stuff on them. And it's all looking pretty badass now. This is the first time that this is my favourite station, because this is the first time, if I just do emote sit 1. Okay, so here I am sat in my tactical station. I probably look like I'm well off the seat there. Yeah, that's fine. Here I am sat in my tactical seat. So what I've actually done is I've designed it so that all the stuff that you frequently use is kind of close, and all the stuff that you use less is further away. I actually used my head, but also normally functions are just split one console for one. So like Asteria, I've split them all into little things. You can see condition green, yellow alert, red alert. So we can go to red alert. You have to hit the spot on. There we go. I like red alert. Pretty. But obviously the thing that's right in front of me is probably there. Or there. We'll call it there. The most common thing you're going to use is just a bleep sound. You've then got 2 types of returns of alerts. So you've got this one, which is like some kind of bleepy bleep, and then you've got a proper alert. Shield access, shields up. Tractor control, tractor beam, shields down, tractor systems off. Damage, just makes a nice damage sound. Phasers, and photon torpedoes. These are, which is all very splendid. But the advantage is, of course, that you can... I decided to put in an alert or a response and a bleepy bleepy button pressing, so you could sort of do... let me think of an example, like you want to confirm that their shields are down, so you fire photon torpedoes, and then you bleep, let me check. Their shields are down, Captain! And it sounds like something's happening. These just all return bleeps. Those ones obviously aren't gleamy because they have deflector shield status and vessel status, and I don't have the MSD for it yet. I need to design the outside of the ship first and do the modelling. So that's my favourite station. It's all done apart from that texture difference, all the functionality that I want's in there. The rest just does bleepy bleepy. This doesn't do anything at the moment. This station is primarily bleepy bleepy. It's all shiny. Most of this is done. This obviously isn't done, and that's all backwards. You've got open hailing frequencies, which is normal. Open a channel, which is going to have your multiple view screen choices, like with the Asteria. You've got bleepy bleepy bleepy, return alert, return another alert, external sensors, which shows our fucked up warp drive. You've got oh, turn that off. Sensor system, which does like a scanny noise, and then this button here, which I'm not going to push yet, is for the drive section separation. And this screen will change when I've done the MSD, so you'll actually see like an image of it indicating that it's separating or rejoining, like an animated image. So that's all fine. All the textures are all nice and buff and sharp and tidy. So that pretty much covers this. These are only doing bleepy sounds, but on probably the right hand side one, as it's near here, that's going to determine how you choose your view screens. Originally I was debating, the reason this texture isn't complete, was having view screen selection there for that one, this guy, so you could select what screen to display from here. But I thought that it's kind of plot hijacking and stuff, so give it to the commanding officer, give it to the person running the plot to determine who's on the screen. They're interchangeable like freelancers, so you could replace it. Freelancers, Asterias, so you can change the view screen to have a person on it that you want to have on it. You can just take a screenshot in RPGX of Neelix sat on top of Redrick's plant over there, and you can stick it on the view screen and pretend that's that. Very easy to change out. That's a tutorial thing that comes with the pack. Yeah, this just all basically makes bleepy sounds, and that's about it. It's kind of a, compared to this station and this station, packed full of functionality. Operations is like, yeah, I just push buttons and open channels. That's my job. Any ideas for functionality there? Go ahead. I'd like to add in a little bit more. We then have, obviously, our station here. These are second pass textures. I'm going to replace them again with ones from the Type 18 shuttles, because I think that these buttons are too dense and too small for the actual surface area. This is obviously incomplete. You've got a choice between a map and a blank screen. This is actually going to have an MSD, and I'm thinking of having the holographic external representation kind of hovering over it, and then when you do this like a semi 3D map layer, that hovers over it in line with it, so it's like you can see it in holographic or on a screen. But at the moment, no MSD. MSD at the back there, no MSD. Science is literally just bleepy and stuff. Now, why would they have a science station on board a cargo ship? This is all of your science. This is everything to do with science, libraries, scanning, planets, translation, aliens. This is the only thing to do with research and science that exists on this entire ship, these 3 little bays. That's it. So I thought, well, a cargo ship's going to have something like that. Let's just chuck it in there. Chuck it in there. It was originally going to be engineering, but I decided engineering could be coupled with operations. So it's all science station. It just bleeps and then does the scanny noise. I might change this one to library, and that one up there to scanny noise or something, so you can see some flickery libraries. But yeah, that's basically it. That's a symbol for the Federation Cargo Commission, which I'm not happy with yet, but I had to come up with an entire Federation Cargo Committee thing in order to explain how there are cargo ships in the 24th century. Try and explain that one. There's no money, so people don't do it for money, but they're civilian. They're not Starfleet, so they're not run by Starfleet or Starfleet officers. So if you don't get paid, how can you have your own ship? How can Cassidy Yates have her own shipping company if she doesn't get paid? Without capitalism, it doesn't make sense, does it? No. So I had to come up with an entire explanation as to how all of this can exist. That was quite fun. That took about 3 hours. Transporter console. Bleepy bloopy, bleepy bleepy bleepy. Actual transporter controls and transporter sounds. Yay. Obviously all that detail up there. You can see the next stage of... Ooh, look, little grilly things on the floor. That's not scaled right. I'll have to fix that. These rails that are also down the corridor, I want to stick a texture on those because I don't like them being blank chrome, but it's starting to look really funky. That, because it's a small bit that sticks out of the wall, it's not necessary. That's going to become a texture and be replaced. These archways, we'll get onto in a second. Cargo Bay area, Federation News Service with some back freelance sort of backstory. Blinks between, nice warp stars out of the windows. Desks, coffee. I'm probably going to have to change out all these models of the plates because I don't like using stock materials. Replicators obviously all work. This room I'm classing as 100% done. Weapons locker and equipment locker has been added in. Nice things. Now, as I mentioned with these here, I actually replaced all of these archways. As I said, I basically changed 50% of the brushwork on the map because the first pass using basic textures and stuff to get the shape, and then you can do textures based around the shape. So if you look, these have all got little labels, little cutty-inny bits and stuff on all of them. Look at it, all with little buttons and stuff. It's all proper bulkhead textures now as opposed to just basic textures everywhere. So that looks pretty nice. This has been reworked, primarily bringing these bits closer and tidying this up. Obviously airlock controls. Airlock's about the same. Might want to put console in there. This one is still basic textures, but meh. You can't even see the whole archway, so that's fine. Complete. I can even stick on an EVA suit and whatever I need, so that all works. What else we got going on here? Removable panel here. There's also a removable panel on the bridge, actually. So you can just go around and fornicate various sockets on the ship with stuff. That doesn't have a button. Obviously the galley. This is pretty much done. I'd like to retexture those just because I don't like using stock, and I might have a fridge. These are supposed to be fridges that opens and you can get some live gach or something, I don't know. I was actually thinking of having it so that you can replenish the food that's in there, because I've already got you've got chopping board sounds. If you use the chopping board, you sat there chopping away and preparing stuff. There's some gach on there anyway, and a Leola root, which is actually a piece of ginger, and then you've got some frying pans where you can have a little frying noise and really have a cooking show or some crap going on, like my cooking with Neelix. Food replicator. This room, unless I add anything else in, 100% done. Oh, I do like the lighting. This here, does it still open? No, this was originally a Jeffrey's tube, because there was going to be an upper deck, but I've decided to not expand the ship anymore until I've done the warp drive system in case I run out of entities. Med bay, pretty boring actually, but it is basically a med bay. Window there, some beds, a little station that's just bleepy bloopy. Library, yeah, standard library crap. Tool. This, yeah, it's not the most interesting bay, but it's a cargo ship. Then go around the corner. These doors, do these open or do anything yet? Nope. These doors, I think there's something behind them. Got no clip. Yeah, these were going to be, again, I'm not expanding the ship any further until I'm certain of how many entities I've got, but these were going to be showers and bathrooms, because there aren't any bathrooms on this ship. Again, that looks much better. You can see it much brighter, that this is actually split and neat and tidy. Lockers, replicators. Yeah, this room's done. Same with the other one. That room's done. Same sort of thing. Click on the bed. Yeah, so we can jump on the bed. Yeah, good. Yeah, pretty much done there. Now everything from here back isn't done, but everything forward is, apart from the functionality that's on the bridge. It's basically, the textures are pretty much where I want them to be. Everything's done. You can see here it says engineering section, aft section access. Little things that go around the door make it look a little bit more interesting. You can see, of course, that these consoles have now moved here when they're originally over there. As we walk across the left-hand side, we still have our removable panels, but none of this is relevant, and I'll get to that in a minute. We now have 2 Jefferies tubes, and it says engineering aft section access. These are basically just repurposed exterior Jefferies tube areas with removable panels of isolinear chips for you to get your stuff out and scan at it and do other stuff. So yeah, that's great. That texture needs a bit of work because it's not shiny. Okay, so that's fine. Same down the other end, exactly the same functionality. And then you notice obviously that we have this area. I'm not completely certain. None of this functionality is relevant here because I'm pretty certain that everything from that glass window to that glass window is going to be deleted when I shut this map down, because I'm not satisfied with the engineering section and I might completely redesign it. I may be able to fix it, but odds are I'm just going to delete it and start from scratch. The problem is that it's so tight that if you have a person using this console, you can't walk around him to get over there, so you've got to come down here. The scale of this section was designed for single player, as opposed to HoloMash and RPGX, which is larger scale. I can't really blow it up easily. There's also another problem, which is obviously this is the central corridor that leads to the R section, and you basically have to walk around the warp core. I don't kind of like the fact that you're obstructed your view to the back, or your passage to the back, especially if you need to get into the aft section and use it as a lifeboat, because that's blowing up and it's right in the middle of the path between the front and the back. So I'm kind of divided. One possibility is to have like a path that goes straight along and actually have the warp core as a horizontal warp core that's in the ceiling like a runabout. That's one possibility. I love the warp core, I love some of the style, but it's just not quite there. I just don't quite like it. Something's not right. Also the fact that it's difficult to move around. I would imagine that the next time you see this map, this room will be deleted completely. We then proceed further back. This I'm all perfectly satisfied with, the little docking area. Go to the aft section. That set extension needs a bit of work. There's nothing here anymore. I'm thinking that Jefferies tubes should be here. That lead to an overhead bit, and these should be additional quarters. Again, yeah, everything around here is alright. Yeah, there we go. Little transporter pads that will have little consoles next to them. This is how you'll beam up and down your cargo from the locations that you travel to. That set extension's got a major problem in that you can see the lights that run across here that are red and white on there. I didn't take the shot from far enough back, so I've got to do that again. Again, we're going to have a little transporter thingy there. Kronos sat there. Hello, Kronos. Hello, little Kronos. Actually, you've got labels on there now. That's pretty cool. I didn't realise that. We're going to have to fix that. Hello, Kronos. Yeah, I like the Kronos. Good, Kronos. You're behaving yourself. Ooh, shiny, shiny. I like it, a shiny. Okay. Anyway. Besides the point. So yeah, that's basically it. The locations are pretty much the same as I showed them off in the last video. They've just been implemented into the map. Now the changes that have taken place were because I was going to do another one of my update videos where I'm running around screaming and doing a lot of unnecessary acting. Oh, how if only you knew. Actually, let's have this debate now. Okay, so yes, it's unnecessary, as someone pointed out in my last video. But the thing with role-play maps is, say you have a single-player game, how do you play-test it? How do you test gameplay? You get people to sit down and play the game single-player. If you have a multiplayer game, that's shoot 'em up or whatnot, you do beta testing online, get people to join it and play it. But with role-playing, it's very difficult to find out if it's got good gameplay unless you actually actively mess about with it. And it's not the first time I've done this. I've always wanted to sort of break that fourth wall and have like me being a commentator and a developer and a character all in one. I've always wanted to do it. In fact, before my motherboard died, before Asteria's beta, Asteria's beta was actually going to be a machinima, So I was going to get everyone on with mics and actually chatting with mics and doing stuff. It was going to become a machinima, and I was going to film it and step back. And also, I need some coffee before it gets cold. Oh, I better finish that off. That's getting really cold. But also, before that, I was going to do a scenario which is me and Callum called Shuttlepod 1. Now, click this screen here. I'll put an annotation right there. Click that screen and it will open up another window with all the footage I could get from Shuttlepod 1, what it was meant to be about. And it was going to be a machinima, me and Callum in a shuttlepod flying around doing stuff, and it was going to be all very good fun. And yeah, that was great. So this isn't the first time I attempted it with that last video. In fact, that last video was incomplete. I had to cut it short and kind of bodge some stuff. That's why I, instead of ending up here where that Kronos is, I actually ended up back at Utopia Planitia, blah blah blah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to make, but it also, if you remember Asteria with my Nazi zombies thing that I had going on, it just tests the playthrough. You know, I moved all the engineering supplies for repairing the ship from the cargo bay down into engineering because I did that pointless scenario that was unnecessary. It allows you to come up with new ideas, it allows me to, it's just part of my creative process to piss around basically, and it also allows me to solve problems. And fuck it, let's do it. Okay. It allows me to solve problems. The Griff drive, me screaming like an idiot. The Kronos has solved an age-old problem. Okay. Let's have a look. It's probably going to say my admin password. Oh no, it doesn't. Good. You can see down the bottom here, RPGX version 2.3.4b. I don't even imagine that's the latest at the moment. But let's go to here. Right, and let's just sit back and relax. I don't actually have to frantically run around and push buttons. In fact, these buttons don't do anything. Well, they do. They actually choose the locations that we're going to, but it's not really relevant. Off we go, flying around frantically. Right, this ship, which has absolutely no purpose apart from for my enjoyment, has solved a very annoying problem. Okay, so think, all this unnecessary acting. What's out that door? What could it be? Could it be Cisco's profit place, which is all white and heartbeaty? I don't know. Could it be Quark's secret stash? No. No, basically, it is... Ta-da! Hello, old girl. I missed you. It's been ages. Oh, I love the op sound. It's really nice. Welcome back to Asteria in version 2.3.4b. Solved by me screaming at the Griff drive and pissing around with unnecessary acting. If it wasn't for that, this wouldn't be possible. But also, yikes, I could have done this within 2 days of release. It's such a simple solution. So simple. Love it. Obviously all your damage stuff goes on.
Communications offline.
No, that's no good. The view screen works. Oh, what is that doing? Oh, communications are offline. Duh!
Confirmed. Activating holographic display.
It's all here. All where it needs to be. Oh, let's turn communications back on.
Communications online.
Let's go with open channel. Oh, it's a guy. I've forgotten how half of these bloody things work. There we go. Exterior view screen. Yes, let's go have a little look around. I'll be right back, Kronos. I need you to get me home. 4.
Level 4. Engineering, maintenance, and AI core.
Oh, hello, old girl. I missed you so much. Oh, look at you. I miss you. Hello, old girl. Oh, everything's opening. I should go say hello to Lei, shouldn't I?
Please stand by. Verifying authorization.
Come on. You know it's me. Open the bloody door.
Authorization confirmed.
Come on.
Access granted. Welcome to the AI core.
Hello, girl.
Please stand clear of the room center. The descent platform is on its way.
Well, good for the descent platform. It needs to hurry up. Hello.
Please use the descent platform provided to access the central core.
You know what? I'm gonna pass. I've got stuff to do. Nope. Unnecessary acting indeed.
Authorization.
Unnecessary things I do. Ooh, that's really
Authorization
sharp.
confirmed.
That must be really high
Access
resolution.
granted.
I must have updated it. I didn't realise it was that sharp. Coolio. Oh well, she's still running. She's still alive. Just about. Let's go to the bridge. Operations.
Level 1. Operations Center.
Right. So yeah.
Displaying sector information.
I start playing with all of this stuff again. Right, I'm getting distracted. Come on, girl. Let's go home. Actually, before I decide to go home. No, it's not that way. It's that way. I forgot to swap rooms over. Bloody hell. Hello, Dribble. I just had to do that. So yeah, I think it's very necessary. Meh. Even those textures have updated. Cool. Now, just as a bit of good news, I had the ship return me to a time before the warp drive was fucked up. By that I mean I actually went to a separate map, so yeah. But it's seamless, it looks quite nice. Certainly better than bloody just loading up different map names. So yeah, this room's probably going to be gone. So there's still a bit of fixing to do on that Asteria map. It's going to take a while before it's quite there. It's got a few bits that are glitchy that I'm going to have to take care of, and it'll be released alongside Endurance, and them together as a pack as they meant to be. I'm not going to release it immediately because it's not a focus. I'm not focusing on it. It's a bonus. It's not a requirement. It's probably a week or two's work, but I'd rather put that into this at the moment. That's my choice. And then, as for release time, I did actually have a question, didn't I, Matthew Stickney? How close is Matt to completion? Because I really want it. I'm going to say November. It may seem far off, but with all the functionality. Oh, there's a point. I'm going to be back to normal. Haha! That shouldn't work. Let's go to warp. Yeah, engage warp. Set a course. Course leading, Captain. And let's. Oh shit, not that one. Navigational.
Please specify destination.
Take me to the station that is
confirmed.
not Deep Space
Course
Nine.
adjusted.
And drop us out of warp. Open a channel to the station. They're not responding, Captain. You shouldn't fire at friendly targets, Captain. Fuck you, Safi. Okay, let's just dock then.
Initiating docking sequence.
Yay! Do 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 do. No, I'm cutting that out. Right, I got work to do. I said I wanted to do this quickly, and it actually seems like it's ended up being almost another fucking hour video. Time for me to go. I got work to do. I've got so much shit going on. Bye. I'm just gonna hurry up and dock. I want to go to the station that's not Deep Space Nine. Take me to the station. Take me. That's kind of slow response. Yeah. Would it help if I stood here? Right, wait until it. Wait. Right. Does that look better? Does that feel better?
Docking sequence complete.
I'm going. Oh, yeah, see you later.